In this video, I'm going to go over the final exam for next week. So the final exam is considered online just because you can take it at home or you can take it on campus. You'll have access to the final exam via Canvas, so it'll be in Module 12, final exam. Oh, actually, it will be in Module 15. Sorry, it'll be in Module 15, final exam. I'll fix that in the PowerPoint that I upload. It is going to be available on Tuesday of next week at 6 p.m., so when class starts, and it is going to be due on Sunday, December 6th by midnight. You can start working on the final exam on Tuesday and submit it anytime before the due date because the final exam is not timed, so you can do a little on Tuesday. If you don't have time to finish, you can work it on, any other time. But make sure you submit it by Sunday, December 6th at midnight. You're not going to be able to submit it past this time. There are two parts to the final exam. So the first one is going to be creating a drawing and layout in AutoCAD, and this is going to be worth 50 points. And then there will be an extra credit portion, which is fill in the blank, and that will be 5 points. Before we go over those parts in more detail, I wanted to give an overview of the instructions because they are different than the midterm. So the instructions will be available on Tuesday, not Monday. I'll fix that as well in the PowerPoint. So in Canvas on Tuesday at 6 p.m., these instructions will be available. It will look identical to this actually. And you'll have your instructions here that will give you step-by-step what you need to do. You'll have a startup DWG file. Make sure to use this DWG file and just save it as your username _ final exam. Don't open up a new DWG file. You want to make sure you're using this DWG file. And then you want your PDF or your layout to look exactly like this PDF with the exception of your name. So you can just mimic this PDF exactly. Once you're done with the final exam, you will go back to the final exam assignment and click Take the Quiz. And then you'll upload 2 files, a DWG file and a PDF, and then submit the final exam. First, we'll go over part 1. This is going to be the drawing part. You will first open up the startup DWG file that we just discussed. Then you will draw a part using the instructions. So the instruction will have a 2D part with dimensions, and you will draw that same part. Then you'll create an assembly drawing. So essentially in the model space of your DWG, you will have a bunch of different parts drawn for you. And there'll be one space that you'll draw the part that I tell you in the instructions. And then another part in the model space will be an assembly portion. You'll just assemble all of those different parts into an assembly using copy and paste or using blocks, whatever you want, you can use there. Then after you assemble those parts together, you are going to click the layout tab or one of the layout tabs and make sure you know how to insert a viewport. Make sure you know how to add callouts showing the part numbers. So for the part callouts, you'll use multi-leaders. Make sure you know how to change the style of the multi-leader so it has circles around the parts. What I mean is just like this. This is a great example. We'll talk about it next. You have to add a parts list using a table. So make sure you know how to add a table or know how to modify a table style. Make sure you know how to scale a viewport. I'll give you the scale that you'll use. So make sure you know how to scale the viewport. And make sure you know how to center your part on the viewport. Okay, so it needs to look professional. It needs to be centered. I need to be able to see all the part numbers. And it needs to be that scale I tell you to use. And then you'll add multi-line text for your title block. I'll give you the title block and you'll just add multi-line text. this is a great example of what the final exam will be like. So this is, we drew this collar, this top part in M12 Lab 1. So just like this, you'll draw a part. I would say this part is more difficult to draw just because we had all those chamfers. If you remember, the part will be much easier than this, but you'll draw a part and then you'll assemble the parts together like we did in the quiz, or yeah, in the lab and quiz. And then you will create a layout similar to this. So you'll add these part numbers here, make sure they have circles around them. You can refer to the quiz instructions if you forgot how to do that, or send me an email before the final exam is available to take. And then you'll add this table here for the assembly. You'll just copy exactly what the PDF says. And then in this assignment, we had attributes for the title block, but you'll just add the multi-line text for your information, okay? Basically, you'll add all the same information, except you'll have your name here. And the title block will also show the scale that you'll use for your viewport. Then after you complete that, you can complete the extra credit. It's going to be 2 to 3 fill in the blank problems. Essentially, I'll give you a startup drawing, and then you must use the measure tool to determine the answers. So this is similar to M4 quiz. Here's what M4 quiz looked like. This was the a picture of the DWG. And this is the questions that it asked you. You also need to know how to calculate the area of a part for the extra credit. I will go over that at the end of this presentation in case you forgot. And if you get all of the extra credit problems correct, then I will add 5 points to your final exam grade. And some people will actually not need to take the final exam because the midterm is worth 300 points and the final exam is only worth 50 points. So some people will get a 0 on the final and still maintain an A in the class or maintain a B in the class. So it might not be necessary. I'm going to grade the final projects the day after you submit it. So for example, if you submit the final project on Sunday, I'll grade it on Monday. If you submit the final project on Monday, I'll grade it on Tuesday. If you submit on Wednesday, I'll grade it on Thursday. Then after I grade the final project, you can determine whether or not you should take the final exam, or you can just take it if you want. Canvas has a what if grades tool, which is really nice. So if you go to your grades, you can actually select the grade and change it, and it will tell you what your final grade will be. So you can click the final exam, change it to a 0, and see if you still have the grade that you want to get. If you've never used it, I added a link here that you can use and see how it works. Otherwise, you can email me by Thursday, and I can tell you, or Thursday of next week, and I can tell you whether or not you should, what you'll get if you get a 0 on the final exam. And the last thing are questions. So you can send me emails or Canvas messages or ask clarification questions in class on Tuesday. I'm making the exam available on Tuesday, so I want you to know that I'm not going to be able to tell you how to do something. So if you don't know how to put a circle around a part number, I can't tell you the steps to do that. But if something is unclear, whether the scale should be 1:1 or 1 to 1/8, I can answer that type of question. But I can't tell you actually how to do the problem because it is your final exam. And you have plenty of time to figure out how to do that. Right. And then before I finish, I'm just going to refresh your memory on how to calculate area. So this is just a random part I just drew or drawing. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that these parts are joined. So right now they're exploded. See how this polygon right here has all different, or these are not connected. So we're just going to use the selection window, select everything, click modify, and then the two arrows facing each other is join. So select join. Now you can see that this is one shape. The next thing we're going to do is in the utilities panel, click the down arrow for measure, click area. We're going to first add an area. So we're going to add area, and we want to add an object. So click object, and this is our object right here. Hit enter. And the area of this object is about 247.4. Now I want to subtract this inner area to only get this green portion. So imagine this is, here's your building right here, and we're trying to find the area of the grass. So how much grass do we actually need to put in this space? So I'll click subtract area, and I want to subtract an object. Click on the object, which is this. Hit enter on your keyboard, and the area of this object or building in our example is 45.6 approximately. So to the 240, I believe it was 247 around there, minus this 45.6 is 201.8, and that's going to be your total area of this green portion here. You can enter again, and it will actually tell you exactly what this green portion is, okay? Just for clarification, I'm going to click area again to do a new area. The reason that we want to hit object, so if we click add area, we want to use object because otherwise we're going to have to go around and select each corner. And if it's a funky shape, then it can make it difficult to do that. So if there's any curves, you're not going to be able to do it this way. So if I enter, then it will be that same area, 247, but it's just easier. I'm going to hit enter, hit area again. It's easier to add area than object. Click the object and hit enter, okay? And that's why we use the join command at the beginning. So hit escape, great. And so that is all. Again, if you are confused on any of this, I can give you more information next week on Tuesday. Otherwise, if you want to complete it at home, because the COVID numbers are really high right now, so I understand, feel free to complete the final exam at home. And I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving holiday, and good luck on completing the final project and the final exam.